Okay, it is time for the best black and death metal albums of February 2022, a spin-off of the best metal albums of the month. Yes, it is time to expand the genres, and there has been some fantastic black and death metal albums of February 2022. Look, I know I'm gonna fucking miss a lot of black metal, a lot of death metal albums of February, but you know what? This is just my opinion. Pop your favorite black metal and death metal albums of February 2022, and you know what? Let's get fucking started. So, coming at number 10 is Vanheim and their album Aura. This Polish black metal band really expands their horizons. Each song has a self-titled track and it's numbered very similar to Magua. And overall this has a very similar sound to Magua. Although I love the black and death metal aesthetics, and I just love the black metal elements, quite atmospheric, very raw guitar tone on this, great drumming, and not to mention the vocals are fucking fantastic. The melodies at times do get stuck in your head, and it's a great black metal album. It is furious in tone, slower moments as well. But yeah, Aura, Varnheim, you definitely must check it out if you like black metal. Okay, let's move on to a death metal album. Coming at number 9 is Corpsegrinder and his album Corpsegrinder. This is his debut album, and I'll tell you what, it is fucking fantastic. Fucking love the guitar work on this, love his vocals, great gutturals on this, and not to mention he does change his vocals now and again from really high momentum vocals along with deep guttural vocals, and not to mention the guitar work is amazing on this, the drumming is fantastic, and I just love the riffs. The riffs are so damn fucking catchy, and dare I say, at times this sounds like a chorish album, especially with the breakdown, especially with the guitar riffs, and I just love how this album doesn't really sound like Cannibal Corpse. This is a very different sounding album, and Corpsegrinder knows it. This is a very fun death metal album, running about 31 minutes. Into the acid vat, so damn catchy. On Wings of Carnage, I Defined You By Your Demise, and Vaguely Human. A great song to end off the album. It's quick, it's fast, it's furious. It's one of the best death metal albums of February 2022. Okay, so next up is a German band. We got none other than Gleichmacher, Krankung for Verberden. I'll tell you what, the artwork looks fucking fantastic. It's got the nebula traced with the horse, and it looks so damn good, the artwork, and that's why I wanted to check it out. I discovered this through Black Metal Promotions, one of the best black metal channels. This furious tone, love the atmosphere on this, love just the craziness of the guitar work, and really intense drumming on this, the blast beats and the transitional odd time signatures. It's great songs like Tode Farben. Einzeit is an incredible song, and even Catharsis to end off the album. It reminds me of Drew, at times it reminds me of Pure Decadence, Beautiful Moments. It's just piercing, atmospheric black metal, and it's black metal done right in my opinion. Top-notch black metal album of February 2022. Next up is a death metal band, progressive death metal band you could say. We're talking about Wait, The End of Noise.
Signs spelled out in case by chance. Someone might
I've already mentioned on Discovery that this is one of my favorite albums of February 2022. It's progressive death metal. They utilize more cleaner vocals on this with some different odd time signatures and obviously some unpredictable moments. Half Funeral is more of a gentler sort of song, and it's mainly just an instrumental, but you get songs like Earth's Last Orbit, which really does change the overall tune of the guitar. The vocals are utilized more cleanly on this. The vocals also utilized more harshly on some of these songs, and I just love the different contrast. Love the guitar solos on this. It's quite a different album in terms of progressive death metal, but it really works overall. The fucking album cover looks fucking amazing. This man has an hourglass for his head, and the hourglass has shattered, and he's picking up the blood sand so he doesn't waste any time. Fucking love the message on this album cover. This is why I wanted to listen to this album. I went to listen to it, and honestly, this progressive death metal band did not disappoint. Next up is a black metal band called Pure Wrath and the album Hymn to the Woeful Heart. This album is quite an emotional LP with an amazing concept. This is talking about a mass killing in a particular country. I can't remember, I think it's Indonesia, back in the 50s or 60s, where there was a mass killing, and this is talking about the perspective of a survivor, I think. And overall, I love the atmosphere on this. Incredible guitar riffs on this. Some of these guitar riffs are incredibly hooky and catchy, and I just absolutely fucking love it. The vocals have a deep emotional connection to the listener, in my opinion, and I just love the beautiful symphonic elements that build throughout this album. It's a beautiful folky black metal album as well, with elements of folk, some really slow plodding moments along with slow aggressive moments as well. The Cloak of the Squad have one of the most catchiest riffs off this album, along with Footprints of the Lost Child and Those Who Stand Still. It's a great way to end off this fucking album. Very emotional LP. Love the guitar work on this. The drumming has this very intense reverby snare, which really works overall. Also enjoy the instrumental at the end of the album. But should the instrumental end off the album? I don't know. I'm going to leave it up to you. Let me know if the instrumental should have ended off Pure Wrath Hymn to the Woeful Heart. But overall, fantastic black metal. Okay, so next up is Venom Prison Erobos.
I am the damaged one. You deserve for the damaged one. I am the damaged.
Now, I'll tell you what, this album has grown on me quite a lot. At first I didn't really enjoy it, but now I love it. I really do. This is why it's making it into my best death and black metal albums of February 2022, just because the overall catchiness of this album is. This album is quite catchy. I love her vocals. Larissa's vocals have such an intense tone, which really works overall. Some great technical elements, some great technical death metal, incorporating some unpredictable breakdowns. So at times this album does sound very core-ish, very metalcore-ish. The drumming has just an intense feel. Songs like Judges of the Underworld, Our Nemesis, I Am the Damaged One, so damn good. Cascading Steel and Concrete, Veil of Night, Technologies of Death, progressive, technical, great death metal. Love it. Love the different tones, love the different directions Venom Prison is going on this album. Yes, it's chaotic at times. Yes, there are some odd moments that at times I felt that did not fit, but it did fit as you listen to this album over and over again. It's got this very different death metal feel. It is death metal, but it is on the borderline of metalcore-ish moments as well. But yeah, I love the different genres on this. Very enjoyable, chaotic, melodic death metal with a hint of core in it. Next up is Darvaza ascending into Perdition. This overall is a fantastic album. It's quite atmospheric, but it's on the borderline of black and death metal. I just really do enjoy it overall. Mother Harlot's Mouth of the Dragon has some great guitar work, some furious drumming, and the vocals have more of those death metal aesthetics. The tone is more death metal than black metal, but the instrumentals are more black metal. Overall, it's a pretty good album, very evil sounding album as well, and it definitely tells a story. I love the lyrics. Silence in Heaven be one of my favorite songs off the album. but it's just the overall stringy, ringing guitar you are getting that this album is quite a hooky and catchy LP. One of the best black metal albums of the year so far. The VASA, Ascending and Perdition is a must if you like this kind of music. Okay, so next up is a death metal album. It's Embryonic Development and the album Heresy of the Highest Order. First of all, the album cover is just brutal. It really is. You got the world leaders looking upon the girl that you could say is probably being mutilated. But yeah, this is a very enjoyable album, and I just love the gutturals on this. There's some definitely intense moments, and it's quite a very technical, progressive death metal album as well. There are dissonant melodies, dissonant riffs. This is a pretty dissonant album. There I could say close to ulcerate sounding album as well. Even ulcerate sounding album, even in the noisier album, like the guitar has a very prominent edge to it. Production had this muddy feel. This is a pretty brutal album as well, especially with the vocals, especially with the guitar tone. Embryonic Development has a very different sound to a lot of brutal progressive death metal bands out there. I've spun this record over a few times. It's definitely one of the best death metal albums of February. It's very dissonant, different songwriting as well. Like, you don't know where this song is going at times, especially if you listen to it for the first time. But overall, it is a very solid death metal album. Okay, so next up is Vorga, Striving Toward Oblivion, coming at number fucking 2. And I'll tell you what, this is a great album overall, great atmospheric black metal with elements of black and roll, especially the riffs. The vocals are very intense and love the high shrieky moments. Songs like Starless Sky, Comet, even Last Transmission, Death Manifesting is a great way to end off the album. And just overall the intensity, it's very intense. This is great cosmic black metal, great cosmic black metal, one of the best cosmic black metal albums. First of all, the album cover looks fucking fantastic. Spaceship looks like he's heading towards an apocalyptic scene here. Symphony moments that build throughout this album, just very intense, furious moments. It's just a very enjoyable, atmospheric black metal album of 2022. You can spin this album so many times, you can never get sick or tired of it. You always discover something new, and that's what I love about this. If you haven't checked out Volga, Striving Toward Oblivion, I would recommend you to check it out as soon as fucking possible. So last month, my number one album for the black and death metal albums of January 2022 was none other than Thesaurus, V Piccolo Sto. Now, my number one black and death metal albums of February 2022 is none other than An Acts of God, Acts of Torture, Acts of God, is none other than Immolation, Acts of God. Alright, this is my number one black and death metal album of February 2022. I love it, I really do. I'm a big Immolation fan and I fucking love it. This, I feel, is one of the darkest Immolation albums. A lot of the YouTubers, a lot of metal YouTubers, say Metal Trenches or Perdition's Review, say that this is a pretty, this is just an average sounding Immolation album. I really disagree with that. I think this is one of the darkest Immolation albums. It plays along with black and death metal on this, very similar to A Close to World Below. And this is a much darker album than their previous release, which was Atonement. It's great. This is a great death metal album. This is going to be hard to beat. This probably will be up into the top 5 best death metal albums of the year. At the moment, it is my favorite death metal album of the year. Amazing songs like An Act of God, Shed the Light, Blooded, Overtures of the Wick, the fucking riff on that. Derelict of Spirit be one of the catchiest fucking Immolation songs. Just a great album overall. That's why it's my favourite death metal album of the year, and even tops the black metal albums of February 2022. I feel that this is such one of the solid releases. Production's phenomenal on this. This is the best sounding Immolation album in terms of production. It really is. The guitar tone's there. The drumming's there. It's fantastic. It's a great album. Great Immolation album. It'd be one of my favourite Immolation albums now. Dare I say, could rival up to Here and After, to Failure for Gods, to even close to A World Below. That's how much I fucking love it. I'll probably do an Immolation ranking again, to be honest. I fucking love this album. Immolation, Acts of God, fucking fantastic LP. And no doubt this album will make it into my best metal albums of February 2022. So yeah, that's where I leave you guys. For the best black and death metal albums of February 2022. Let me know your favourite black and death metal albums for this month. Next video will be the conclusion of the best metal albums of February 2022. So make sure you stick with me for that, and I will see you in the next one.